In today's fast-paced and high-pressure world, it's very easy to feel like you're in over your head. But what happens when that feeling becomes a constant presence in your life, even when you're achieving good things? Many of us know that feeling as the imposter syndrome. If you follow my channel, you know that I conceptualize everything with shadow work or Jungian therapy, so that's what we're going to do today. The plan is going to be the usual. First, define the imposter syndrome. Second, understand the roots of the imposter syndrome. And third, practice techniques that can help you improve this problem. So let's get started. I need your full attention as we define the concept of the imposter syndrome. And that's because imposter syndrome has become a popular buzzword in recent years, leading to many people to self-diagnose or to wrongly believe that they struggle with imposter syndrome. So let me tell you this, starting a new demanding job and feeling nervous about it is normal. Fearing failure is normal. Doubting your success because you're not seeing the outcome that you want to see immediately is normal. But none of this means that you have imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is a psychological pattern in which an individual doubts their own skills, talents, and accomplishments despite external evidence of their competence. And that last sentence is the most important part of the definition, despite the external evidence of their competence. So let's say that as a therapist, I receive very good feedback from my clients and I see meaningful transformations from my clients. Nonetheless, I have this very loud voice in my head that tells me that I'm not good enough, that I'm a failure, and that I've just been lucky with clients telling me good things about me, but none of this is true. So that means that I discredit myself regardless of the good evidence that I have to prove that I'm a good therapist. Finally, I would like to mention that imposter syndrome is not a clinical diagnosis. It's not in our DSM-5, so it's not a mental illness or a disorder. This term was actually coined by a psychologist who observed this phenomenon on high-achieving women that despite their success, they were feeling like a fraud. Then the concept was generalized to all genders and to all backgrounds, but that is where it comes from. There are psychological, social, and neurological factors that could be associated with imposter syndrome. From a psychological perspective, imposter syndrome can stem from early childhood experiences and internalized beliefs about oneself and one's abilities. In my previous video, I talked about the inner critic and how it is created at an early age because of the interactions that you have with your authoritative figures. So if at an early age you develop a very mean and discrediting inner critic, then that's going to probably be the main voice that fuels your imposter syndrome. So I recommend you do some work on your inner critic and come back to this video. Moving on, from a social standpoint, it's very possible that societal expectations and cultural norms in your community have led you to develop this loud, insecure voice that makes you feel like an imposter. From a neurological perspective, imposter syndrome may be related to the way the brain processes information about yourself and your abilities. There could be a chemistry imbalance in your brain that causes you to be unable to experience joy, happiness about your success and your achievements in life. Hopefully that gave you some ideas to where your imposter syndrome may be coming from. But now let's address the problem. There are many strategies that are set to help with imposter syndrome, and those include going to therapy, doing CBT, DBT, mindfulness, positive self-talk, celebrating your success, validating your emotions, making plans to boost self-efficacy, affirmations. All of these things do help. But I wanted to be very specific and very helpful here so you can leave this video with a tool that you can use. I want to give you a step-by-step process or plan for you to follow every time the inner critic or the imposter syndrome voice gets triggered. Number one step, stop. For a moment, I want you to literally stop all of your thoughts. You can think of the stop sign if you want. That will help you block out all of the thoughts and give you a visual to focus on. And take a deep breath, just like try to relax and ground yourself. Step 2, identify the loudest thought that you are having. I'm sure that maybe you're spiraling and there are 100 thoughts that you can address, but I want you to focus on the loudest thought. Write it down. Step 3, validate yourself. It's normal to experience self-doubt and to be stressed out in high-achieving situations. It happens to everyone at times. Number 4, assess the situation. Use your logical or objective brain to think whether there's something that you need to do, and if there's something that could help you feel more comfortable and more confident in the workplace, then let's write down a plan and establish things that you can do to help yourself feel more confident. If there is nothing that you should do because there is no evidence that you're doing something wrong, in fact, there is evidence that everyone is happy with you and no one has a problem with you, then you have to let it go. If you are an optimistic person naturally, then come up with some positive messages and affirmations like everything is fine, I can keep going, I have positive feedback, everything's great. If you're not so positive, use a neutral statement. Maybe something that can sound like, I have not received any warning or feedback that I'm going to get fired, therefore I should continue to do what I've been doing and be at peace. Step 5, distress tolerance. I want you to think of a technique that can be soothing for your anxiety. That could be drinking water, taking a walk, putting your headphones in and putting some relaxing music, but you need to target the symptoms that you're experiencing, which usually are related to anxiety or stress. You need to bring that cortisol level down, and you do that by doing things that are relaxing or soothing for yourself. So 5 steps. Number 1, stop. Number 2, identify the thought. Number 3, validate your emotions. Number 4, assess the situation. Number 5, distress tolerance. 4 acronyms, CVAD. Hopefully, by following this 5-step plan, you will be able to increase your productivity because you're going to target the problem immediately instead of wasting time overthinking about this problem. You can also improve your self-esteem and confidence and reduce symptoms of stress, anxiety, and depression. Now, people often ask me, will this help me get rid of the imposter syndrome? My answer is no, or not always. Imposter syndrome is definitely a problem that can reoccur as a response to stress if you allow it. So for you to manage it, you really have to develop a good, deep understanding about why it's present in your life, and then also find a step-by-step technique that helps you. I just provided you with an example of what helps me and some of my clients, but this doesn't work for everyone. So you have to find your own 5-step system to do every time these thoughts are triggered. It takes work and it takes dedication for you to be able to manage this automatic response that the imposter syndrome may have on you. If you want to learn more about the imposter syndrome, I have another video that I recorded in the pyramids in Mexico where I teach you another technique on how to tackle the imposter syndrome. So I'll leave that one down below in the description so you can take advantage of it. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you soon in another one. Take care.